In this series, we're going to show you one of few hybrids in the luxury line. BMW of Wesley Chapel gives us the 2023 BMW X5 xDrive 45e in dark graphite metallic over coffee Sensafin interior. This is going to get around 50 mpges with the same luxury amenities, and it's a plug-in hybrid, which is hard to find when you get into this luxury of a class. I'm going to do a comparison between the xDrive 40, the M50i, and also the Volvo XC90 to show you what this thing really is as a total vehicle. I'm Anthony from Hawkeye Rides. I'm going to go over all the specs and details starting now. The BMW X5 xDrive 45e has clearance at 8.3 inches, LED headlamps and daytime runnings with the satin aluminum that brush into the interior of your active kidney grille, and on the lower bumper with your front parking sensors. The satin aluminum will be in the center. The weight distribution on the 40i will be more closer to that 50-50 at 48.8, 52.2, whereas this is at 47.4, 52.8. If you go to the X5M competition, that's going to be 50.1, 49.9 weight distribution. So as you go up to the tier, you're going to get better and more athletic with your dynamics. As for the Volvo XC90, it is a near 50-50 weight distribution, which is pretty amazing considering that vehicle isn't as athletic and dynamic as a BMW when it comes to performance numbers. But when you get into the recharge, it changes the whole platform. We're set with these 20-inch multi-spoke alloy wheels, the disc reading behind it at 15.8 inches, the rear at 14.7 inches, double wishbone front suspension, 2-axle self-leveling air suspension, a lightweight multi-link integral rear suspension. xDrive is your all-wheel drive with a payload at 996 pounds. Driving dynamic control with EcoPro, Comfort, and Sport. A length at 194.3 inches, a wheelbase at 117.3 inches. The XC90 is at 195 inches. Mercedes-Benz is now offering, not yet out in the North American market, a GLC plug-in hybrid, but that's around 9 inches shorter than this. So if you're really wanting to get into this segment, there's not a lot that actually comes with a plug-in hybrid. A level 2 or 240 is going to get 4 to 5.3 hours of charge, and you're going to get 31 miles of pure electric range. Me driving to this off-site lot, about 5 miles, I gained about 1 mile on regenerative braking. The XC90 will get 32 miles pure electric. On the rear, you're going to still receive the dual exhaust outlets, and we get the satin aluminum. Towing decreases nearly 1,000 pounds at over 6,200 pounds. Payload, you lose 28 pounds opposed to the 40i. Curb weight at 5,646 pounds, which is 818 pounds more than your 40i. Kick to open, and if it doesn't work, push to open. Going inside, 33.1 cubic feet, which is 0.8 cubic feet less than your gas-powered engine. Underneath, you have a little storage area that you can put your charger. You can split fold the rear bench at a 40-20-40 split, increasing cargo to 71.2 cubic feet with a 12 volt. You'll lose over 2 cubic feet of storage. This is a hybrid twin power turbo. Let's go inside, start up so you can hear that exhaust note. And you actually get an exhaust note out of it, which when you get into some hybrid variants, you can't even get that. So I do like that BMW still backs the performance. A 3.0 liter BMW twin powered turbo inline 6-cylinder, producing 282 horsepower with a twin scroll turbocharge. The eDrive adds 111 horsepower, total output at 389 horsepower and 443 pound-feet of torque. That's paired to an 8-speed sport automatic automatic transmission, reaching 60 at 5.3 seconds, quarter mile around 13.4 seconds. Now, what do these numbers tell me? Well, if you go into the 40i, that's 335 horsepower. This obviously has more. Same 0 to 60. You step it up to the M50i, 523 horsepower, 553 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 around 4.1 seconds. Go to the M, you got 600 horsepower. Unlock 617 with the competition, and you're going to be under 4 seconds, 0 to 60. Going against the XC90 Volvo Recharge. That's going to have over 400 horsepower and over 500 pound-feet of torque at 0 to 60 at 5 seconds. So what I'm saying is the dynamics in the Recharge is crazy. But if you're looking for an alternative, this is really the best way to go. Let me know in the comments what you think about the 2023 BMW X5 xDrive 45e as we go inside, go over the tech, and take this for our drive. Entering inside the hybrid version of your X5, it's pretty decent because you have 8.3 inches of ground clearance, 40.8 inches of headroom, 39.8 inches of legroom, 16-way power seat adjustment for the driver, 10-way power seat adjustment for the passenger. They're heated seats. This is the new Sensafin interior. The dashboard gets the contrast stitching on the top. No heads-up display, but it's still more or less carved out here. The gloss black and the satin aluminum are going to be around all of your air vents. Dual climate control, no more gesture control, but we have the pinch and the swipe for the navigation. Click into the home button. This is your quick apps or wedges. When you click into the car icon, you have carrying car. You do have to purchase this feature in order to do it. You also have your driver profile and your experience mode, which you do not have to purchase. Go back into your apps. We have Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Sirius XM, AM, FM, streaming Bluetooth audio, Amazon Alexa. We also have the M-Lap timer and driver recorder, which you will not have to buy a dash cam because this will record everything for you. And we have our sport mode, hybrid, electric mode. And when you go into your sport, you can individual or you can configure your individuals to make it as sport derived as you like. Put it into reverse. We have a 360-degree reverse camera with full trajectory. This also has your automatic parking and your backup assist. When you click on these cameras here, you can zoom in so you can see any imperfections. Click here into your 3D view. Now you can click onto a more wider approach of different angle sections to go all around the vehicle. When you click back into here, you have your car wash view, which will have your trajectory in the front so you don't curb your wheels. Going into your pre-settings, open up this wood inlays, and you have your wireless charging pad, your BMW digital key, a storage pocket, USB, and 12 volt are going to be right between the cup holders. Gloss black over your gear lever, iDrive 8, and to raise and lower the suspension. It's going to be more sporty for your elbows. Open up the side to another USB, and it's a pretty deep storage pocket with a 3-spoke steering wheel multi-function. We have the paddle shifters. It is heated. The gauge cluster is a 12.3 digital reader, which you can configure that with the different driving modes. Or you can simply click onto the BC and it will change everything on the right side so you can see your G-force, your pound-feet of torque. The configuration of the door and the dash seamlessly going together with everyday materials on the top, memory only for the driver. It's going to be a little bit more soft for your elbows here, one touch up and down for all your windows. Satin aluminum, and you get the ambient lighting with a large and deep storage pocket. For the back seat, headroom is no issue at all. Leg space at 37.4 inches. It has plenty of room for the back seats. We have a storage compartment with your cup holders in the center. There isn't any third climate control. You get your air vents and 2 storage tiers with a 12 volt on the lower with storage behind both of the front seats, a USB behind both of the seats as well with a connector for an iPad, Android, or anything that you would like to really connect. Door panel, get your everyday materials, more soft for your elbows, one touch up and down, ambient lighting with the satin aluminum, wood trim, and a large storage pocket. Sitting into the center, headroom is still no issue, nor is leg space. Even though I'm sharing feet, butt, and shoulder space, it's a wide interior, so the fit in the back is still going to be relatively comfortable, even in the center. 335 horsepower is what you get out of the X5. 389 horsepower you get out of the 45e. So $6,000–7,000 premium. It kind of makes sense. Your 0 to 60 numbers are the same. You do lose towing and payload which is kind of unfortunate, and you lose a little bit over 2 cubic feet of storage in the cargo, but the same head and leg space for the front and rear occupants, so that's not necessarily a problem. And you'll still have more towing than the XC90 Recharge, which is good. The weight distribution does get changed, as I was indicating on the exterior, but when you get these type of variants, you're really looking for your MPGEs, in which the XC90 will get over 50. You'll get 32 miles full electric, you'll get 31 miles full electric here. So there's a little bit of a difference. 400-mile range, as I stated, when I did about 5 miles to get to the destination for the review, I did gain about 1 mile, but every time I hit a light, I lost it. So you really want to charge it up that 4 to 5.3 hours to get your full range and capacity. 443 pound-feet of torque is where it's at. That's 111 more pound-feet of torque than your X40i. Here we go. And your brakes, this is where that regenerative really will recoup some miles. Man, the torque is insane. It's not as much as the XC90. That's over 500 pound-feet of torque. But when you get into hybrids, you gotta also realize all that is really just up front. As soon as you push it, you can go back really crazy. It's hard to also look at vehicles in this price category to find plug-in hybrid variants, so I'm glad that BMW offers that. I will also note though, whenever you get into the engine note and you start hearing it, it doesn't necessarily sound the same as every BMW. It has a little bit of a different exhaust note to it. It does filter in a little bit. When you put it into reverse, you do have a little bit of that humming noise also, because it's a plug-in hybrid variant. But I mean, overall, it definitely has a good package. It's gonna take me to some things I like and dislike, and that's what we're gonna start talking about right now. Starting off with what I like about the vehicle is it's a plug-in hybrid. I mean, 31 miles full electric. That is pretty good. Although the charging, I don't like that it takes 4 to over 5 hours. And it's the same thing for the Volvo XC90, and you would really have to do that in order to get your full range out of it. But this is the fun part about hybrids. I mean, look at this, instant. Now in sport mode, it livens up more, and the engine note sounds more like a BMW. This is an inline 6-cylinder twin-scroll turbo to a 24 lithium kilowatt battery pack, which is a pretty large battery pack, which also shows why it's almost 900 pounds more curb weight than your 40i. The second thing that I like about the vehicle is you're not losing so much in the cargo. Whenever you start getting into these electric vehicles or even plug-in hybrids, you typically lose over 5 to 7 cubic feet. 2 cubic feet or 2.1, whatever it is, it's not that big of a deal. The last thing that I like is you still have that fun to drive spirit. And yes, it's not going to be like the M50i or the X5M with 553 pound-feet of torque. However, it has a substantial amount, and it's kind of a sweet spot because you're underneath that 80 grand price tag. You can get this nearly fully loaded before you would even touch an M50i. 3 things that I dislike, you already heard one. The second thing is it is a lot more noisy inside the interior. The sound deadening is not as plush as the M50i or your X5M. If you're in the market for a plug-in hybrid, definitely a great vehicle, because Mercedes-Benz is going to be too small. The XC90 Recharge can escalate pretty high, but you'll still be underneath $90,000 fully loaded. So this is going to be a lot less money, so you'll be able to do a little bit more, go on vacation with your plug-in hybrid. Another thing to note is with the Volvo XC90 third row. Here you cannot. It's not going to have as much cargo as the XC90, but it's going to tow more and have more payload. If you can keep it where it's full electric, it is so quiet in the interior. The last thing that I dislike about the vehicle is in the back seats. You cannot recline the seats. I kind of wish this was something that you could do, because you still have substantial cargo capacity and it would make it a little bit more comfortable for a long journey, whereas on the XC90 you can option a captain seat or a bench, and obviously you can recline those. It's a 40-20-40 split in the center, and in the back it's a 50-50 split. But as for back seat space, you do have more leg space and head space. Comparing this to the Volvo, you do feel more dynamic in the drive. That one feels like it sits up higher, even though the ground clearance in this one is better. I kind of wish the weight distribution was a little bit closer to the 50-50, because as you get up to the tier on the X5s, they get so much better that it's a near perfect 50-50 for the M competition. Turn radius and throw it into sport mode so we can really see the dynamics is going to get about 2 in a part lane. Let's rock and roll. And that's what I mean. The fun to drive spirit is still there. You still have an exhaust note, and you want to quiet it up, click it into your electric or put it into your hybrid, so that way you can recoup all of that. And you're going to do so anyways whenever you're using your brakes, because it's regenerative braking. I do like the feel to it. The width doesn't feel overly wide, and it doesn't feel like it's going all over the place. Even though the XC90 has a better weight distribution, it doesn't feel like it holds the road as tight as the X5. I'd like to thank BMW of Wesley Chapel for giving us this 2023 BMW X5 xDrive 45e for our car review. If you're already a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Hawkeye community. If not, I don't know what you're waiting for. Click the next video and the subscribe button. Check out the merchandise, website, and Instagram, and everything we do here at Hawkeye Rides.